Jai Shri Krishna to all. Welcome to Path to Anandam series, the freedom from pains and miseries to happy, healthy and peaceful life through Bhagavad Gita and meditation. Our today's session, the Series 10 session, is how to develop equanimity. Of mind. So how to develop the equanimity of mind? How to calm ourselves and develop the calmness in our life. The verses are taken and focused from Sankhya Yoga, chapter 2, verse 55 and 56. And these are again the chosen, selected in 108 mantras to awaken your soul. And some of the verses are, the background is taken from Bhagavad Gita and also the prosperity forever, the Karma Yoga, because we are talking about the Karma Yoga right now. So pranam to Karma Yogi, Swami Hariharji Maharaj, who asked and guided us to do the Karma Yoga ourselves in our life by not just talking about Gita, not by just reading about Gita, not by just preaching about Gita, but truly become a karma yogi. Practice Bhagavad Gita's teachings. Be a mentor. So thank you very much, Guruji, for your guidance, your encouragement, and bringing us all together. I'm Satya Kalra, your host and founder of Path to Anandam. And Path to Anandam guides, teach how to motivate people to be happy. Take them on this path of Anandam by caring, sharing, loving through action, through our resources. So thank you very much, Guruji. And in today's session, the session of how to develop the calmness of mind, the equanimity of the mind. So we will address what is equanimity, what are the benefits of being calm, equanimous, and what prevents us to be equanimous and experience our true nature. And what is the solution? What is the formula is given by Lord Krishna to Arjuna? And self-inquiry, our action, our practices, and our sankalpa with tip of day, and Ananda meditation. And at the end, we will have a question and answers. So we start our session with our repeating our sankalpa 2 again, that I am Arjuna. And I do as you advise. But prior to that, we have to give the rein of our life, apni zindagi ki lagam, Shri Krishna Bhagwan ke haath mein deni hai. So we have to give the rein of our life to Lord Krishna, surrender to him, get advice from his symbolic holy book, Bhagavad Gita, listen, follow, and act upon it. And then I do as you advise. So through this blissful journey, where we experience our self-purification, self-transformation, and going on the path of self-realization, who we are. So welcome to this blissful journey to all of you. And let's pray to Lord Krishna as being an Arjuna. And as Arjuna said, Karpanye dosho pahat swabhava, paschami tvam dharma sammurcheta, yachre syani nishchitam bruhi tanme, shishyasteham shadi mam tvam prapanyam. Shishyasteham shadi mam tvam prapanyam. My heart is overpowered by the weakness of pity. I have lost all of my composure and my mind is confused about my duty, dharma, what to do and what not to do. I am your disciple. Please, definitely guide me and tell me what to do. But whatever is the best for me, tell me that, not what I am asking for. Whatever is best for me, please tell me, guide me, give me enough courage to go through all the difficulties in my life. I surrender to you. Please instruct me. So Arjuna is with his divine company, Lord Krishna, and we are with the divine company of Bhagavad Gita. We are the students. It's not just the Arjuna is the student. We are the student, and Lord Krishna is guiding us through his teachings in the name of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, which is a step-by-step spiritual instruction manual to operate our life righteously. It teaches us how to do the self-purification, self-transformation, and self-realization by performing every action selflessly with equanimity, with calm mind, and attain eternal happiness and peace. While living in this world, it's just not that Gita is only for when people say, people recite the Gita because it is for dying person and other people just recite the Gita in front of him. But it is while living in this world, and not only while living in this world, for our moksha, for liberation from pains and miseries in this world and beyond. And Shri Hariharji Maharaj, pranam again for guiding us and taking us this step by step, like as Arjuna. In this 574 verses, which are spoken by Lord Krishna, out of 700 verses, which was the first verse was Dhritarashtra and other ones are some with Arjuna and some with Sanjay. But through 574 verses, Lord Krishna takes us all the way from miseries to Anandam, Satchit Ananda, by many different yogas. But main yoga are three: Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga. Although all the 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita is called yoga. So through Karma Yoga, which we spoke about previously, what are the ingredients, how to perform our karma, how to do our action, which becomes our Dharma means which help us to perform our prescribed duty. So how to perform our work righteously and do the work as an art of work and live righteously. And very first verse he says, Karmanye vadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachan. Here is ma phaleshu kadachan, means focus on your action, which not focus on the results of your action, the fruits of your action, which we had talked about in detail in our previous session. But basically, he's saying, do the seva. Everything you do with the bhava of seva, without any attachment. In other words, neki kar kuएं mein dal. I learned this from very beginning from my mother and my father as well, from very young age. And work with equanimity. Here it says, buddhi yukto jahatiye, ubhe sukra dushtata. Tasmad yoga yogasya, yoga karme sukoshanam. A person who is engaged in selfless service with equanimity liberates himself from vices and virtues in his lifetime. Here, Lord Krishna is now introducing new word to Arjuna, who is already confused, who was confused by knowing what is Atma, what is body. I am not a body, I am an Atma. So he was giving him the Sankhya Yoga, the transcendental knowledge, Jnana Yoga. But he did not understand. Then Lord Krishna says, let me change my gears here and give him the wisdom of Karma Yoga, action, because he's a Kshatriya. He just knows the action part. So let me take him on that path and try to explain him a little bit better. So he understands what his life is all about. And that's why he tells him to focus on your prescribed duty. You are Kshatriya. Your dharma is to protect the society through your action and make your action as a karma yoga. Yoga means which brings you close to God, union. So every action for Kshatriya is to protect the society. But since Arjuna is disturbed, then he tells him that first his mind has to be brought into calmness. And that's where he says equanimity. And he says, strive for yoga, working to the best of your ability without becoming attached to the fruits of work, action. That is called karma yoga. So you become a karma yogi, do your action, prescribed duty with buddhi yukta. Your buddhi has to be joined. You live in the subconscious. Your subconscious mind has a lot of confusion, lot of garbage, lot of storage data. And that's why your buddhi cannot penetrate. So first you have to calm your buddhi. And the buddhi gets a message from the supreme power. So the supreme power here is giving the direction to Arjuna's buddhi. So the buddhi can guide Arjuna and penetrate into his mind. And that's what Lord Krishna is telling him. The new word, equanimity and buddhi yoga. And he says, this is the best. Once you are calm, then you can do the yoga karmesu koshnam, not before that. So in order to do that, our buddhi has to be very calm. Now Arjuna is more confused. What is this Lord Krishna is saying? Buddhi yoga, and what is this equanimity? So he asked the questions to Arjuna. And These are the 4 questions he asked. That what are you talking about, this Sthita-Prajna, equanimity? And the equanimity, then Lord Krishna explains him, but he says, tell me, what is this Sthita-Prajna? What are the hallmarks of a person who is Sthita-Prajna, who is enlightened person, who is totally in trance, which is called Sthita-Prajna? But how does this person behaves? How does this person speaks? How does this person, what kind of language he uses when he speaks? How does he sit? How does he walk? What is the status of his mental health? In other words, how he deals with all these turmoils in his life. Because if he is a human being, he has to go up and down in his life too. So how does he behave? How does he handle those situations? That's what Lord Arjuna is basically asking Lord Krishna. And then Lord Krishna, question by question, he answers again and removes all his confusion and guides him and removes one more layer, like an onion's layer. One more ignorance he removes, and taking him to essence of his true nature, Satchit Ananda. So one more layer, we have to remove our layer as well, where Lord Krishna says to Arjuna, Prajahati yada kaman, sarvan manogatan, atmanev atmana tushta, sthit pragasya do uchyate. O Arjuna, when one gives up all the selfish desires, which arises from the craving of senses, from his mind completely, and feels fully satisfied in the self alone within, then one is called Sthita-Prajna, Equinamous, enlightened person, established in pure transcendental consciousness. So here, look at this, Prajahati yada kaman. And then he says, tada. When there is a condition, when one gives up all the selfish desires, question is, how could we do that? But here he gives the answer. Where do desires come from? Which arise from the craving of senses. See, these are the senses. So when we see something, we start desiring it. When we wear some nice clothes, say, I should have that. Especially when I used to see people wearing jewelry and saris, and my first thing, okay, I should have a sari like this. I should have a jewelry like this. I should have a home like this. I should have a car like this. So whenever we start seeing the things, our desires start coming. When we hear something, somebody has this, somebody's got this, we say, oh, I should have that. So my desires start coming now for other things when I hear something. And when I touch something, किसी बच्चे को टच कर लिया, लगता है हमारा भी बच्चा होना चाहिए. When we smell some flower, some perfume, whenever we like it, we say, oh, we should have that too. When we speak very powerfully, very confidently, we think we should have that confidence too. And this is all the senses. That's why Lord Krishna says the craving of the senses from his mind. All this register in the mind, and we have to manage our mind, because mind is the master of all the senses. So if the mind is managed, the senses will be managed. But mind itself does not have any power, because it is controlled by buddhi. As I mentioned before, there is a 5 lineages: body, senses, mind, buddhi, and then atma. Atma gives the guidance to the buddhi, and buddhi gives the guidance to mind. Therefore, he says here, buddhi yukto. And that's where Lord Krishna explains that buddhi, keeping buddhi in proper is very, very important. So when we give up all the senses, then controlling the senses, then we can give up all the desires, and then our mind could be, by listening to the buddhi, give up the unnecessary selfish. It says selfish desires. It does not say all the desires, selfish desires. Then one could be fully satisfied. Here it says prajahati, completely, karmanya, sarvan, all completely free your mind from all the worldly desires, selfish desires, and experience, be totally satisfied, fully you get it, gratification. Then one can develop the Sthita-Prajna. One becomes the enlightened person. So the selfish desires lead to disasters in life, and selfishness, leads to self-satisfaction. And that's where the stability of mind comes. So the desires, there are many types of desires. Body-related desires, which we just spoke about, related to our senses, which are all external desires. All external desires are temporary. They go up and down, and there is no end to it. It's infinite desires. Then mind also develop the stress of that, because when we have it, we are happy, we are greedy, we want more. When we don't get it, we become very angry, very upset. And when we are upset, buddhi nasha pranshati. Then our buddhi gets disturbed, because it does not listen to the atma, it just gets controlled by mind. And then we lose our self. Sometimes we are angry, sometimes we are upset because our desires are not fulfilled. That's why in Gita, I put all these verses are related to it, because Lord Krishna says that the desire, these all temporary desires, don't run after that, because the desires related to the soul's desires, which are our for self-realization, which is within those desires, we should have, and eventually they should disappear. But at least we should not run after the external temporary desires. So the temporary desires, again, selfish desires, which come from tamasic and rajasic nature, which are the barrier to our self-realization. But if we have the selfless desires, then our karma becomes dharma, karma yogi. We become karma yogi. And then when we are karma yogi, we are not running after the fruit of desires or fruit of action. We are doing as a bhava of seva. And then we attain the eternal happiness by loving and sharing. And then we develop the peace, experience Satchit Ananda, who we are. Here, as it shows, the desires are for body, mind, soul, spirit, but these are the top soul, spirit desires are the best desires, which leads to the selfless desires. And Vivekananda ji also says, So long as there is a desire or want it, it is sure sign that there is imperfection. A perfection-free being cannot have any desires. In other words, he becomes equanimous. So here, just a representation of it, where in the summary, here, buddhi yukto, be calm. And by having this, as we talked about it, what happens? We eliminate all the selfish desires. Then we can reach to the balanced state of mind, which is a definition for the equanimity or Sthita-Prajna. And then we experience Satchitananda. So here comes the true picture here. Freedom from pains and miseries and suffering. All this Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ankar, worldly desires, Kama, Kama, Kama. Lord Krishna has mentioned this Kama repeatedly 28 times in Bhagavad Gita. And also the Samta, the Sthita-Prajna, the Buddhi Yukta, 68 times in Bhagavad Gita, over and over and over in different contexts. So this is the true message of Bhagavad Gita. Become equanimous. And then this worldly desires, anger, once the worldly desires are minimized, then we can control our anger, our greed, our ego, our stress, our diseases, our insomnia, because all these selfish desires give the birth to disasters in life. And from desire, what does disaster mean? Diseases in life, the stress in life. So what is the benefit of it? We have the balanced state of mind by doing that. Because Arjuna asked in a very different way, why should I do it? What am I going to get out of it? And Lord Krishna says that by eliminating your selfish desires, you become Sthita-Prajna, eternal person, fully satisfied person, who is calm, who is basically free from all the miseries, where he says in the next verse, Dukheshnu Vignamana, Sukheshu Vigatispra, Vitrag Bhai Krodha, Sthit Dhir Muni Uchate. You become a Muni. Muni means you go into total silence within yourself. The desires are not bothering you. And one becomes totally free from the desires, anger, greed, attachments, ego, fear, freedom from fear, freedom from jealousy. In other words, he becomes fully satisfied and he's free from all. And he is free from stress, which is the cause of miseries in life, diseases, pains, and eventually, little by little, he will experience the joy in life, in relationships, in his physical body, emotional stability. He has more self-confidence, positive attitude. So his total well-being. So all the tools are given to him. Here, Lord Krishna gives all, that's the secret. I call the formula, but that's the secret he discloses to Arjuna, to all of us. So now it's the time for us to do the homework. How to practice now Lord Krishna's teachings. First of all, I call AAA strategy, which I have speaks almost in every session. First one, self-analysis, which means a self-inquiry or awareness by asking ourselves, am I satisfied? what are my desires which are disturbing me, my mind? So make a list of it. But then we analyze it, that which senses are making me crazy, which senses I need to control. Do I need to control my tongue because I eat food, whatever comes in front of me, whether I should be eating or not? So, or I just listen to the gossip, or I just speak. I have no control on my tongue, especially when I get upset. Or my hands, when they touch, do I touch good things, or do I touch anything comes in my life? So this is what we have to do, the analysis. And then make the list of it. And then ask the question, am I satisfied? But when I identified, then I have to do the action. And Satya Sai Baba says, put ceiling on your desires. And the simple way he explains, he says, ask yourself, is this something I need it or I want it? There is no limit to the wants, but the needs are only so many. Therefore, we have to balance our wants and needs and offer all of our other desires to Lord Krishna, to Supreme Power. Why I say that offer all of our desires? Because we have nothing else to offer to God. Nothing is ours. We are driven by desires. That's the only thing. All the time our mind is going around I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. It makes us crazy. And when it says the desires, good example is having a desire for attaining Supreme Power, or even like let's take a Prabhudanandji. When he came to USA, he came with the only one mission, following his teachings of his guru, to go to America. And he came to spread the message of Bhagavad Gita. And then Hare Rama, Hare Krishna become his motto. But did we come for that purpose to America? No. We came here for higher education, make more money, and have a better living. So that is the worldly desires. We came here to fulfill our worldly desires, our rasic nature, which is important to maintain our body, but we should have a other mission, just like him, spread the message of Bhagavad Gita, follow the teachings. So the only thing we can offer Lord Krishna is our desires. So I said, just like a havan, every time you put the ahuti, this ahuti is of one of my desire, and that's where we will talk about next week on our self-healing session on our rasic nature and our chakra, the rasic chakra, which is the Manipura chakra. So focus on our inner being. That's the message. This is the tip of the day. And do our best and let go and offer everything to Lord Krishna. Sarva dharman paritajye mamekam sharanam braj. Aham tvam sarpabhebhyo mokshashyami ma shuchi. He says, just come to me. So if we just follow and just surrender to him, that's all he's asking for. And that's all we need to do. I know it's very, very hard. Even getting rid of one desire, even that is difficult. But at least he's guiding us and we can put our efforts. So our sankalpa for today is, I'm equanimous. I have control on my desires and on my mind. I am calm. With each sankalpa, we come closer and closer and closer to our supreme power, to realizing our true nature. So thank you very much to attend this beautiful session, develop equanimity of mind, and be healthy, happy, and peaceful, not just in this lifetime, but beyond. In other words, experience, realize who we are. We are truly a Sat Chit Ananda. And our next session is now the meditation on I am Equinamous.